In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most expensive yet always seriously underestimated cost elements in any fitness plans: time. As the most important resource out of all resources, it is no surprise that how much time you can afford to devote to your weekly training will generally be the biggest limiting factor for most people. For example, if you can only afford to train 45 minutes twice a week, then any plans, let's say more than twice a week or longer than 45 minutes per session, are going to be off the table for you. And that is very easy to understand. However, this is only the basic level of how much time you spend on your training. Beyond this basic level, what most people may have not realized is that there's a substantial amount of extra time you have to spend on top of your training time to execute your fitness protocol. And to make it even worse, the ratio of extra time to training time increases with the length of the training time. Feeling confused of what I just said? Time to enter the law of 1.5 to 2.5 total time cost. So the law of 1.5 to 2.5 total time cost, what does it mean? It means that the total amount of time you have to spend on your fitness protocol will be roughly about 1.5 to 2.5 times of your actual training time. Now, this is a law that I've summarized myself after years of experience in the fitness game, and as you will see very shortly, the law itself is not difficult to understand, but nevertheless, it is one of the main reasons why so many people have seriously underestimated the true cost of their fitness goals. Alright, without further ado, let's jump to the lower limit of this law, 1.5. So let us assume that you're a complete beginner. You have just started brand new, and you decide you want to do your training 45 minutes twice a week, which is very usual for most people. Now, in your mind, you are thinking, great, 90 minutes is all it takes for me to kickstart my fitness journey and complete my glorious transformation. But hold on, is that really what it all takes? If you have just joined a commercial gym, now you have to commute 4 extra times between your home and the gym. Let's say every trip is going to take you on average about 10 minutes, which is actually a rather conservative number. Now all of a sudden you have to spend extra 40 minutes on top of 90 minutes, and that is almost 50% of your actual training time. Now some of you may argue that I've got a home gym and I don't need to spend the extra time for commuting. Fair point. Home gym was where I started, and part of the reason why I started from home gym was exactly due to this point. But still, unless you have not sweated at all after finishing your training, you probably have to shower yourself 2 more times because of the training, and that is going to take you extra 20 minutes at least, and probably another 10 minutes of drinking water, changing clothes, washing and drying your towel. You will still more than likely wind up spending at least extra 30 minutes on top of 90 minutes of training, which is the most thrifty situation, and is still 33% of your extra training time. See, in reality, when it comes to executing your fitness protocol, even the most basic training plans would require you to spend at least 50% more time of your actual training time. And that's where the lower limit of 1.5 total time cost is coming from. Now, some of you might say, all right, I get your point. Extra commuting, extra showering, extra laundry, can't escape that. So I'm forced to allocate 50% more time for all these chores, and to be honest, I'm fine with that. After all, 50% more does not sound that much when it's based on 90 minutes or even 150 minutes per week for that matter. But what's the deal with the upper limit 2.5? How can you possibly spend 150% more time outside your training? And why does the ratio of extra time to training time increases with the length of my training time? This does not make any sense to me at all. This dude must be talking nonsense, right? Well, of course I'm not. But in order to understand the 2.5 upper limit, you need to take the nutrition part, things like cooking, eating, shopping, and even toilet visits that are insignificant at the 1.5 lower limit, but absolutely significant at the 2.5 upper limit into your consideration. Okay, back to the previous beginner case. Let's say you're only training 2 hours a week. maybe 1 hour doing weights and another hour doing cardio, as you have not poured so much time and effort into your training. You will be quite happy with just a mediocre physique, and because of that, there's not a big demand of nutrition improvement. There may be some bits and pieces that you have to be aware of, like, say, staying away from fried foods or be careful with your sweets. But for the most part, you can do quite well with your normal nutrition routine. You don't have to change how you prep your food. You can just eat 3 meals a day. You can do your groceries on normal frequency. At the 1.5 lower limit, the amount of extra time you have to spend on your nutrition can almost be negligible. But now let's flip the script. Let's say you are an advanced lifter training 10 hours a week, 6 hours doing weights, and 4 hours doing cardio, which is actually my normally weekly training volume for most of the year. Would you still be happy to only achieve a mediocre physique out of your training? Of course not, because if you only want that, you would only be putting 2 hours into your training like the previous case. But since you have poured so much time and effort into your training, naturally, you would want your physique to really stand out. And as a result of that, you are going to have to be meticulous with your nutrition. You have to change the way you prep your food. Now, you may want to trim the chicken breast because, yes, even the leanest protein source still has some extra fat that you can cut off. You have to eat more than 3 meals a day. I mean, if you want to put on a lot of muscle mass like me, you have to eat a lot more than you ever think you have to do because, yes, muscle tissue is much more metabolically active than fat tissue. You have to do more grocery trips because, yes, the extra amount of food you have to eat has to be in your fridge constantly. And lastly, you have to spend more time just sitting on the toilet because, yes, where else do you think all the extra eating will eventually end up being? Actually, I've already mentioned all of these unpleasantries in my previous video, 10 things I did not enjoy in being FMR 26. You can click on the link to see other things I did not enjoy when I was bulked up to the max. But back to this video, the point being, the more time you put into your training, the even more extra time you have to spend on your nutrition. When you increase your training time from 2 hours a week to 6 hours a week, you may have to spend another additional 3 hours for cooking and shopping on top of the 3 hours of necessary chores that you can't escape. And that makes the ratio of total amount of time spent on your fitness protocol to the amount of time spent on training at 2 to 1. And when you increase the training time from 6 hours a week to 10 hours a week, it is really not that surprising that you will have to spend another additional 10 hours in cooking, eating, grocery shopping, on top of the 5 hours of necessary chores. And that will make the ratio of total amount of time spent on your fitness protocol to the amount of time you spend on your training at 2.5 to 1. So the upper 2.5 limit, it may sound exaggerating at first glance, but upon close examination, it makes perfect sense. And that is why I said in the beginning of this video that so many people have seriously underestimated the true cost of their fitness goals. At best, you have underestimated the cost by 33%. At worst, you may have underestimated the cost by 60%. So when you make your fitness plans, please be realistic and take this 1.5 to 2.5 total time cost ratio into your consideration. Let's say, guys, the law of 1.5 to 2.5 total time cost ratio, the true cost of any fitness protocols that other fitness influencers will never tell you, and why a great physique is much more expensive than you think. If you have enjoyed this video, please give a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your support, and I will see you all in the next video.